Welcome back. Well, we have a haul video today and a photobomb kitty, which is appropriate because the contest we had for that big, beautiful Lusterware bowl with the flowers that I originally called peonies but are in fact parrot tulips, that contest has ended today, and the photobomb kitty will be choosing a winner. He's already started to go through the entries, so naturally he needs to make his presence known. So, whole video when we get back. Yes. Well, this haul video is a little different from some of my usual videos. Usually I like to do why this and not that. But I haven't done a haul video for you in a while, which means that I have a whole lot of and not that photos that I haven't shown you. So I thought today, when I'm through with this, instead of just limiting the photos to the items I left behind at the particular stores we visited yesterday, I would show you a nice smattering of some of the stuff that I've left behind on our antique and thrift shop hauls for maybe the last 6 weeks, just to give you some sense of what didn't make it home with me. So let's start with Goodwill. We stopped at the Goodwill at Hanover. My total expenditure was $26.40, and it has some interesting stuff. So let me start with this piece. This is a silver-plated, reticulated tray. The plating appears to be very much intact. It's got a mark on the back that indicates it's very heavy plating, and I can tell from looking at it that it is. Price on it is $1.99, tag still here. It needs to be polished up, but when this is polished up, this is probably going to do very nicely. I'm not sure what I'm going to put it in my Etsy store. I don't know what I'm going to charge for it. It's a light plate. It's going to be very easy to ship, but it's really beautiful, and this is not a new piece. This has some age to it, so I'll have to think about what I'm going to charge for it. I'll give you a hint. It's going to be more than $1.99. So this, $2.99. Now, this is in fact the third piece of Blue Ridge China by Southern Potteries that I have picked up at that very same Goodwill. This is a pattern. Let me see if I can get it. I think this is the proper orientation. This is a 9-inch plate. The pattern is called Whirligig, which I'm sure is obvious from this sort of a ribbony flower. I don't know very much about Southern Pottery, Blue Ridge. No. In fact, the reason that I was able to identify the first piece I got, now they have a mark on the back of it, and I will take a picture of this for you. Oh, and the price, $2.99. Someone identified it for me on one of Jocelyn's videos because the stamp on the first piece I ever picked up was misapplied and very blurry. I couldn't read anything. Of course, when they said Southern Potteries, I could, in fact, see what they were talking about, but it's in a script style, and if I hadn't known, I wouldn't know. Southern Potteries has collectors clubs. This is something that, boy, when people like it, they really like it. I've had 2 pieces so far in my Etsy shop. This will be the third, and they go in like 48 hours. People see them and say, ooh, gimme, and it's gone. And I like that. I like a quick sell. The key when you are selling pieces like this is to identify the pattern. It's very important. As I say, this is whirligig. It took me less than 2 minutes to find the pattern. And how I did it was I put Blue Ridge Southern Pottery into Google, went to Google Images, and simply scrolled down until I found this image. And there were several pieces, and I finally found one. You can't, by the way, you can't always take everybody's word for it. When you see something like this and it says whirligig, you want to make sure you have several pieces that are identified like this, or in the case of this piece, I found a piece that was being displayed by one of the Southern Pottery clubs. Now, when you have that, that constitutes about as close to an expert opinion as you're going to get, and you can go with it. So if you found, the Memphis Southern Pottery Club, and that's how they identified it, yeah, you don't need to double check them because they live for this stuff. They know what they're talking about. But nice piece. No idea why these pieces are showing up at that particular Goodwill. Jocelyn says maybe there's a collector out there. Maybe so, but it's been months since the first piece, and of course months since the second piece I acquired. So I don't know. They're sprinkling them in the Goodwill in dribs and drabs. But at $2.99 and with such a really pretty piece, this was a good buy, and this will do nicely. So if you are a Southern Pottery collector, you check out the Etsy store because that's where this one is going to be. But check it out fast because, like I say, the last two have not been there for more than 48 hours before they've been snapped up. And I like that because knowing that this is going to go into the hands of a collector of this particular type of pottery really makes me feel good. Now, here, this was probably the great coup of the Goodwill. I've untaped these plates, and when I left the price tag on it, $4.99, 8 of these plates. And let me take one without price tag so you can take a better look at the pattern. It's a butterfly pattern. It's Chinese made. This is absolutely Famille Rose. No question about it. It's very reminiscent of the older pieces. This is not old. This is probably 80s or 90s, not old. Nevertheless, very nice. Famille Rose, 8 10-inch plates, perfect condition, $5, which is a little over 60 cents a plate. So that was my coup of the day. I love them. They're beautiful. I really do need to throw them in my Etsy store, even though I'm tempted to keep them for myself. But they are going to have to sit in a sink full of hot soapy water for a long time because they are so covered in tape that everywhere you touch, you stick. But that was really nice. I don't often see plates of this quality in this size in sets of 8s anywhere. Usually they end up with a plate or two broken and the sets are much smaller. I usually consider myself very lucky if I can get a set of 6. But having said that, a set of 6 is okay these days. 50 years ago, a set of 6 would not have been considered standard. But 50 years ago, families were a lot larger. People had 3-4 kids, and service for 8 was pretty much necessary in these larger families. Now that families are smaller, that people are no longer throwing like huge, lavish sit-down dinner parties, because that, in fact, was a thing 50 years ago. It's not important anymore. Now service for 6 has become the norm. Okay, This is another little Goodwill snatch. $3.99, and it is a set of 5 little sort of kidney-shaped plates. This one has a chip in the corner. It's a pretty good sized chip. I'm going to make an effort to repair it anyway, but one of the plates is of a different pattern. As you can see, it's different color. But the other 3 are all the same as this one. I've got plans for these. These are going to become a Tidbit tray. I like being able to make a Tidbit tray out of an odd-sized plate so they stack up. It's just a little different from the typical round pieces. I have another one that I made a while back, and they are popular. I think people like this particular sort of quarter moon configuration for a plate. It's different. So that's what these are going to be used for. They will be Tidbit tray pieces. And at $4, even with one of them broken, it works out to $1 a plate. And I'm going to be very, very happy to have that. $1.99 for a set of 4 heavy Chinese, these are probably soup bowls rather than rice bowls. They seem a little large for rice bowls. Very pretty, very subtle design, set of 4. I don't think I'm going to have any trouble offloading these. And at $1.99, they were 50 cents a piece. So that was a good little grab there. This is a teapot, probably Japanese. I haven't been able to make out the marking on the back. $3, cobalt blue. Again, not old. Oh, and by the way, these are not old either. These pieces, 1950s. I'm sorry, I should have been dating these for you as we went along. Not old. 80s or 90s is my best guess on this. It's gilding with some moriage. It appears to be a transfer pattern. Very pretty. It's got the lid. This can probably be used. The interior looks good, so this can probably actually be used as a teapot if someone wanted it to. If not, just a nice little decor piece. $3, absolutely, it will sell for a lot more than that, even though what we're looking at is a new piece. This is not antique or vintage china by any stretch of the imagination, and frankly, I think it's Japan rather than China in any case. Just a nice little grab. Now, a couple of pieces just for me. Lamp. This is for lamp parts. The first thing I look at when I want to date a lamp is the plug. And this is a plug. It's got the UL tag on it. But this is an older plug. I'm thinking probably the 1960s. It's okay. It's safe. It's tagged. And when I run my fingers across the cords, I can see that it's polarized. So we're going to be safe. This is what I bought it for primarily. Start taking it apart. I got this for lamp parts. Now, I'll get this just so far and then the cord will keep it in. This piece that I just unscrewed, this S-shaped double socket. Oh, and the balls are so heavy too. They're just clanking around. If I were to buy this new at Brand Brass, which is my online parts supplier, probably be looking at a minimum of $25. This was $4. Major, major bargain. And I happen to need this piece because, as you all know, I got a lamp recently and, well, I'm sorry, I got a vase recently that is longing to be a lamp, and it's very large, which means one of these nice double sockets is going to work beautifully with it. So by grabbing this, I saved myself $20 to $25 just like that, not to mention any of the other parts. I'm going to be able to scavenge off this. The lamp itself, I've got no problem with it. It's not like, oh my God, it's hideously ugly, but it's nothing inspired. I will not keep this. This will probably just get tossed into the trash, and it will be parts. And keep in mind, if you want to redo lamps, if you want to turn vases into lamps, keep your eye out at the thrift stores for lamps that can be scavenged for parts. Ordinarily, you can get $20 to $30 worth of lamp parts from a $4 junk lamp at a thrift store, because you have the cord, you have the sockets, you have all of the fittings, the little things like the screw-on nuts. Wonderful. Here, got a nice little nipple here, and that's what they are called, by the way. That is a little nipple. It's fantastic. So definitely, that's where you go for your lamp parts first. And you're always welcome to go to the expensive lamp stores or the online services if you can't find something suitable at your Goodwill. But check your Goodwill first. Now, here is the last thing from the Goodwill. I can put a lot of stuff that I won't be hoarding in this pretty box. So this was just for me. I like boxes like this, these hat boxes, because you wrap the cord across to secure the lid, and you have a little built-in handle. Very convenient for carrying your non-hoard. Remember, it's in a pretty box, it's not a hoard. Your non-hoard to different places, you know, when you need to relocate it when one closet is full. So that was $3. Let's see. Yes, $3. And boy, am I happy to have it. So that was the first part of our shopping trip. It was Goodwill. I have pictures of things I left behind, but quite frankly, as I told the woman when I left the Goodwill store, I said, you know, you can just go in and mark everything down, because Jocelyn and I took everything of value. So if you've got stuff in here left over, it's not worth a lot. And it's true. We just really cleaned them out of everything of value. Our next stop was Finders Keepers. And that is a great little place. And we love it a lot because they have this interesting way of handling most of their items. Not all, but most of their items. The dealers who have space in their shop mark things down when they've been there too long, which I think is clever. I mean, if something's been hanging around too long, you have to decide if you're going to sell it. And if you're going to sell it and somebody's been staring at it for 3 or 4 weeks and hasn't purchased it, yeah, drop the price. You know, it makes sense. So I like their business model, but also they're really wonderful people. And they're a lot of fun just to sit and talk to, because they are antique dealers who will show you pictures of things they had in another store or something that came in, you know, last week. And I love seeing that. So Finders Keepers, the total damage was $22.49. But I only got 4 purchases there. I was going to say 4 items, but it's way more than 4 items. So let me start with this. This is a Lusterware creamer and sugar, Japan, mid-century. Very interesting because it's got this strong orange. But one of the things, I think you can see it on the video, probably better than you'll be able to see it on the camera, because I am going to photograph this. These little orange leaves in the background they are like rose gold. They are just glistening. It's remarkably beautiful. And I haven't seen this before in Lusterware. So it's very nice, very eye-catching. It's probably a proprietary design of the Japanese factory that put it out. But when you see the picture, just pay attention to these little background leaves, because that is really sweet. The cost on this was $5.95, so $6, and I would have considered it a bargain at more than that. That is a nice set, and as I say, these leaves makes me wonder if I'm not going to keep it for myself. No, I can't. I've got a box, and maybe I can. I got a piece that is not here, but I will show it to you in the pictures because I did snap a picture of it. I snapped pictures of all of these because I wanted to make sure I have the correct price with the correct item. So I will show you. It's a little flow blue dish, and Jocelyn is very into flow blue these days. It was a very, very pretty little dish. The flow blue dish was $4. So very cheap present, boy. You know, nothing like a cheap date like Jocelyn, right? And the deal is that the next time they have a family dinner, she's going to throw peas in the dish and make the children eat their peas out of it. You have to do this. The dish was a present. You have to eat the peas. So, but it's a sweet piece. It was an older piece, and we both thought it was fantastic. And more importantly, of course, you know, she thought it was fantastic because she's the one who has to live with it. And I got 2 children's tea sets. Well, let me get the price before I put this away. $5.95 and $6.95. So basically $6 and $7. And they are Lusterware tea sets, little children's pieces. So why am I grabbing up little children's pieces, you may be asking? Yes, dear. Oh, no, I love you best. Because I can use little parts like this as toppers for Tidbit trays. Ordinarily, when you get pieces like this, for example, this, the lid to this teapot is missing. Let me just see if I can grab. Oh, I thought I had it right here, and I guess I don't. I have another teapot like this that I already have on one of the tier supports for a Tidbit tray. You can pop toothpicks in something like this. You can use it for decoration. And so when I see them and they're not really expensive and they have a lot of cute little interesting pieces, I grab them up. As it happens, by the way, I have acquired a nice little assortment of pieces in the peach Lusterware color, and who knows, I might be able to put together an impressive tea set just with those. This one, however, is not going to be cannibalized for Tidbit trays. This is also Japanese Lusterware, and I'm not going to know which is which, by the way, until I show you the pictures. I don't know if this is the $7 set and that's the $6 or vice versa. This one is a sort of cream with a little green. It's because of the green trim, it actually appears to have a green haze to the Lusterware, but it has the teapot, the sugar, the creamer, and then 2 little cups and saucers and a few other little plates. So this one is something bordering on a complete child's tea set, in which case, and when I look through the pieces, I'm going to be able to see if that is the case. That's something I'm going to simply offer for sale, clean it up. It's going to take a lot of work to clean this up. It's covered in that Scotch transparent tape that I hate so much because it's hard to get rid of. It leaves terrible residue. I don't know what people's fondness is for that tape. But if it turns out that once it's cleaned up, it's in the kind of condition it appears to be in right now, then that is a set that will be offered just as a miniature child's tea set, because they are very collectible, especially when they are as old as sets like this, because this is something that's probably from the 50s or 60s. So that was the haul. Less than $50. Definitely. I assure you, I will make my money back on this and then some. And remember, the and then some goes for shipping out the giveaway items, and it subsidizes the portions of this channel that can be costly. So it keeps the cat treats. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some pictures. First, I'm going to show you some pictures of the items from Finders Keepers, because they have the prices, and of course I want you to see the little Flo Blue dish that went home with Jocelyn. But I'm also going to piece together some pictures from the last 6 weeks or so of antique and thrift store shopping, so you can get a sense of the stuff that didn't make the cut, the stuff that got left behind. Most of it was because of either price or condition. If it's a condition issue, I will have photographed whatever the problem was. If it's price, of course, you'll see when you see the price tag. So that's this haul. Why this and not that? And I'm delighted with all this stuff. So I hope you are too. I will see you all next week.